Merry Christmas and welcome to the Irn-Cru podcast, the Scottish American football podcast made in Scotland by NFL fans and all that stuff. I've totally forgotten what the intro is, Danny, because it's been that long since we've done a podcast, buddy. I'm joined tonight. My name is Keith McGinty, of course. I'm joined tonight by my good friend Danny McVeigh. Danny, welcome back to the podcast. How are we?
Good. Surprisingly, I've eaten my weight in chocolate and sweeties, drank so much that my liver has given up on me, but I'm still enjoying life. NFL's been non-stop. It's been just that mixed bag this time of year, isn't it? With Thursday night games and Saturday night games and Friday night, and I don't even know what day of the week it is currently right now because I don't work on days of the week. I know, so you just love life. And
as I said, we've not been on the podcast for a while. December's just caught up with everybody. We've just been super busy. We've been desperate to go on and talk some ball because there's been some fantastic games. It's as if there's a game of the week, game of the year every week so far this season. It's been absolutely terrific. But just unfortunately not being able to get enough bodies on fit and able at the same time to get on. But this is us. We're back just now. Very much looking forward to chatting tonight about all things about the Week 17 games that we've just had and the repercussions for that for going into the playoffs and the postseason that's coming up as well. So lots for us to get through. Before we begin, just wanted to say thank you very much to everybody that came to our Irn-Cru watch party in the Raven way back at the end of November for St Andrew's Day. That was a fantastic night. It was well attended, and we even managed to raise some money as well for Cash for Kids. So we rounded that up a wee bit to £100 from the Irn-Cru and everybody that was there that did the raffle. And thanks very much to the Raven for hosting us and also donating a couple of prizes as well. It was very, very much appreciated, and we look forward to getting back there for more watch parties and possibly Super Bowls and things like that. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Danny, you were missed. You would have loved it, but it was a great wee night.
I know. I was gutted. I would have loved to have come down, but it was my oldest birthday that weekend and just so much on. So, but yeah, no, I'll definitely do the next one though.
Fantastic. We are hopefully going to be joined by Scud as well shortly on the podcast. So keep a wee eye out for him joining us. But lots to get on, lots to talk about, and I think the best place to start is just the games that have just passed us there in Week 17. Is there any place in particular, Daniel, that you would like to start off with?
Week 17? Well, I think you've got to... God, there's so many. So the one that actually caught my eye was the Baltimore Ravens, Green Bay Packers. I don't know why I've kind of came to this one, because to me, the Ravens were done, dusted, out of the playoff picture altogether. Yep. And then I went to bed in this one, woke up, was expecting to see a completely different result, but all of a sudden they're just hanging on by the very tips of their fingernails, and that just happened to lead up onto then what happened on Sunday night with Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cleveland Browns. All Steelers had to do was win the division, final nail in the Ravens' coffin, but not the Browns caused that shock, and it's just left it open perfectly well. You know, because that's obviously there was plenty of things that went on, clinching and elimination, but I think that's the one that kind of really set up for me, and it was such a shock. Because I think like prior to that game, the chances of the Ravens making the playoffs was, single-digit percentages. I'm sure Mikey Brown would be able to tell us the exact scenarios that I'd been through. But I think that was the one that just caught my eye. I went, God, they're going to do it, aren't they? I don't know. I can just... Is Lamar going to be fit in Week 18? What these different scenarios are? DK Metcalf been suspended, obviously, for, jabbing fans. Can he do that, man? But obviously, he was so much missed in that final play of that game. So yeah, that was the big one, I think, for me. I thoroughly enjoyed that this weekend.
The big one to take away from that game is there was no starting QB for either team. There we didn't have Jordan Love or Lamar Jackson for either team. Yeah, and it kind of.
Sorry.
What you saying?
Just how good did Malik Willis look though when he actually came into the game?
It's terrific, but
He's
man.
got to get paid next season. He keeps playing like that because that's a couple of times he's been in so far this season, and he's looked really good. He's carried that offence really well, and what a backup. I don't know what's going on in Tennessee. The fact they just hand players away, but he looked really good. I was very impressed by him, but obviously not enough. Snoop Huntley was the man that was absolutely dominating, and obviously King Henry just ran through everybody.
I was going to say, you said dominating. He was just handing the ball off to Derrick Henry, and he was just running through the Packers defense.
He did enough. That was it. That's all he had to do. But God, did you see the stiff arm Derrick Henry had in? I don't know if it was Nixon or something like that. I think it was number 24 for Green Bay. Absolutely floored them into next week. It was brilliant to watch. And that's and it just, I'm sure if Mikey Brown was on the now, he'd be telling us like just how frustrated he was, particularly for the week before against the Patriots, where Ravens were ahead in the fourth quarter, and they seemed to bench Derrick Henry, or they was on a rotation. I don't know who the other backup run back is, but when you see what that guy can do in his prime, it's one of the ones you can just imagine they're still going to sneak in, they're still going to get it. In Pittsburgh, your man Tomlin's got his winning season. Does he really care much now if whether it makes the playoffs or not? Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I would rather he wasn't in it. I don't have a love for that man whatsoever. So I'm kind of hoping that the Ravens actually do it. And I feel dirty saying that. But I can't even root for the Steelers either.
As it stands, neither of the two teams are actually in the top 7 for the AFC. Currently got the Broncos with the number 1, Patriots at number 2. We'll get to both teams a wee bit later. Jags at 3, number 4's undecided. 5 is Texans, 6 Chargers, and 7 the Bills. So in the hunt, we've got the Steelers and the Ravens are just on the bubble at the outside there. I'm looking at the Athletics predictor here, and they have the Ravens with their 8-8 just now for the season. They've got them for 59% to clinch the division and make the playoffs there. Steelers are only at 41%. It's going to be some matchup between the two teams to see who actually gets that place.
Just winning in, and it's already playoff football for them, which is great. It sets up. Usually, week 18 can be an absolute dog. It's just backups everywhere, and I'm hoping one team do the sort of same. Try and keep everybody fit. That's why we don't have our fantasy Super Bowls in week 18, because you can never tell who's playing and who's getting sat. But there's a couple of really tasty games to look forward to in week 18. There's just still stuff to get played for, and I'm pretty sure the script writers at the NFL are absolutely digging the fact that there is real football still left to be played. There's still something worth there. The things that aren't quite set yet. I think there's only 4 divisional winners so far, I think, maybe. So there was that 8 teams already clinched the playoffs, and there's still 4 in the sort of hunt. That's brilliant for them getting into week 18. As I say, I'm kind of, I just want the best teams to be in there. And so far, I have not liked watching Pittsburgh Steelers. They seem to win, but then they'll lose games they shouldn't. They should have beat the Browns. Come on, it's the Browns. All the wins out there. But as everybody seemed to be suggesting, what were they more interested in stopping Myles Garrett getting the sack lead? Is that because TJ Watt currently holds it, and they're like, well, fuck him. We want to actually keep our guy kind of top of the chart. I don't know, but it just shoot themselves in the foot, and it's like, just get there and take care of business. Because of that, and the fact that the Ravens actually went out there and took care of business against, which early doors was a contender in Green Bay. Now, again, I don't know whether we call them sort of frauds going forward, because I don't really know what to make of Green Bay. They seem hit and miss, injury prone, but we'll get on to them later. But again, there's just so much going on, so many great teams, so much to look forward to already, and this is the business end of the season.
Do you think, when you mentioned about the script writers, they couldn't have done it any better. That's the last game that's going to be played in the regular season. It's going to be played for us 1:20 a.m. in the early hours of Monday morning. I'm back at work on Monday. I don't think I'll be able to stay up and watch it, but it'll be the first thing I'll be doing is check my phone when I wake up, invariably in the middle of the night, because I'm that age now, to check and see what the score is there. It's it's surprising to me because so many of us were tipping the Ravens to go on as be Super Bowl contenders. How they have struggled so much, even with it, when most of the players were fit. I know they have had a horrendous amount of injuries this year, and they've just not got into a flow. But it's amazing to see how they can still claw their way in there. But they're not going to have to do it the hard way. They're going to have to go to Pittsburgh. They're going to have to get the win there. It'd be something special to see. But then another side of the coin, you've got the Steelers who've already got their Tomlin's assured of this winning season, as you mentioned. Is this a last hurrah for Aaron Rodgers? I think missing out on DK Metcalf through his own stupidity is hilarious. As a former Seahawk, I felt he held back. As a Seahawk, I thought there was more to him than we were actually seeing when he put on the...
Oh my God! Is that Scott Book's music? I think he's joining. Right. Sorry, I'm keeping off on one here.
Get mad. There he's there. Merry Christmas, Scott.
Merry Christmas. I've been sitting listening for 5 minutes.
I'm on the playoff picture. I've missed you. I'm glad Danny mentioned you there. I'm looking at the playoff picture on another tab there, so that's good. Glad to hear. It's as quiet as you've been if you've been sitting there for 5 minutes. Are you good? Quiet. Did you have a nice Christmas, mate?
Yeah, great Christmas. Good, nice time of the year as always, but plenty of football, plenty of beers, and plenty of time with the family. It's a good time.
Yeah, we were all out together on Sunday night for a wee bit of a Red Zone watch party, and with Craig, Smudger, and Grant, our fellow pal who's a big Bears fan as well. He beat me in a couple of finals, so I'm not too happy with that. But it was good to see everybody. It was a good wee night. Enjoyed going into the Raven again, getting a wee shot at the darts there. If you've not had a chance to do that, it's brilliant fun. Make sure you get a wee shot there. Scott, we're just talking about the Ravens and the Steelers. It was one of the games that jumped out to Danny from week 17. What have you made of the resurgence of the Ravens and possibility that they might actually sneak in to the postseason?
I'm not surprised they're nearly getting in the postseason. I'm surprised on the position they are, they having to try and force their way in, to be honest with you. To me, I thought they were going to win that division hands down. But it's just proven the injuries, Lamar been injured and not using Derrick Henry, in my opinion, the right way. He's a running back who needs your 20-plus touches a game. He wears them down, and then you see him getting the best out of him in the second half when you get the best out of him all the time. So they're trying to split it, use Lamar's legs, etc. But no, I agree. Listening to you, I hope Aaron Rodgers doesn't get in. And I hope the Ravens do it, because I think they're a better team to watch, personally.
My trouble with them is at wide receiver with the Ravens. Again, say Flowers, and then there's not a whole lot more. Tight ends are quiet, Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews, kind of quieter years for them. Not really pass catchers. They're relying a lot in that run game. I think they'll get in. I think they'll do it, but I personally think they've got about one and done. That's the level of team now. When you end up in, I don't know, I was going to say 8-8, but I don't know where they'll finish, like something like that, 9-8, something.
Mm-hmm. What did you speak of Christmas Day? We all had
great turkey, mate. Santa was amazing.
I had a coat the booth that I just miscalculated my timings. I brought it out far too early, then put it in. It just was ready to put it in a third time, and it just went a wee bit too far with it, but it was still a delicious tasty bit of meat. But also had the games on the background. We had the Cowboys at the Commanders. First off, both on Netflix. Did you watch much of the Netflix coverage?
It was infuriating. I hated it. Hated every fucking bit of it. I switched off. I put it back on. The games were crap. The analysis was crap. Scott Hansen is very likable and easy to watch. He was the only good bit, but all the kind of underneath the Christmas tree nonsense every 2 damn minutes, and just the adverts just crap, you know. They would cut to some bullshit Peaky Blinders thing going on in the sidelines, or I think in the early game it was 11 or the 11s. I was just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Come on. Well, that ripped man in big time. I couldn't be arsed with that at all.
The cross-pollination of the Peaky Blinders actually having their own wee bar inside the stadium was...
And just sitting about having a pint as if there's nothing else going on. But like, what are you doing, lads? Like, that just...
Got to say, though, the Tomahawk steaks looked absolutely dynamite. I thought mine was actually looking good. I seen theirs come out. That was... that looked a lovely, tasty bit of meat, by the way. It's got the game itself.
Oh, by the way, sorry, Snoop Dogg, we need you big shout out. Snoop Dogg was excellent. He's always excellent, though. I like that. That was worth watching. The rest was crap. Sorry, continue.
Who was it he brought out as well? The Laney. She did the Cowboys.
There was like a country singer. She was good.
Yeah,
pretty nice.
Sam McKinney for the Thanksgiving game last year, she did the halftime, and she was absolutely terrific. So I enjoyed it.
There was
and then as well.
The big bulging Andrea Bocelli and his boy. They were kind of getting it loud as well. And then there was another group, but I didn't know who they were either because I'm old as shit. I don't know who these people are. I don't know if there were some K-pop demon hunters people or whatever. I don't
Let's not diss that. I've been thoroughly enjoying that this time with the wee man. It's been absolutely terrific. It's good. What about the game itself? The Commanders and the Cowboys. Did you make off it?
I didn't see much like yourself, mate. It was on in the background. I was running about with my niece and nephew, and then my daughter just kidding all Christmas fun. It was on in the background, but I'm surprised that it finished as close as it did. To be perfectly honest, because I thought it was going to be a proper blowout.
Mm-hmm.
It started. The Cowboys started in fire. Everything they were touching was getting there, but again, I didn't take. It was a nothing game, really, wasn't it? So I didn't really take much from it, to be perfectly honest. Apart from the Cowboys should have won, but should have won by a lot more. But that just goes with their season, to be perfectly honest. Keeping teams about
24-10 they went in at the half, Danny, and then they made it a wee bit edgy for their fans towards the end. They only get 6 points in the second half.
Yeah. Honestly, I just couldn't care. I was bored to death of this game. I just it was a shame. You understood what they were. The mission of it was, we're going to have Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas always watchable. Last year's NFC Championship team and the Commanders maybe playing for something there. 3 divisional games. Hopefully, they are the best teams going for it, and end up like, who really cares? There was one playoff team in amongst it all, which was probably actually the most interesting game at them all, just for how that one started to play out and towards the end. But yeah, I kind of gave up on it. Other than sort of like Dak to Pickens, the rest of the game, I just wasn't that interested in watching. They're great value, great players to watch, but you can just tell it was almost like a preseason game. That's how it felt to me. It just sort of felt a lot of vanilla defences and offences and just kind of going backwards and forwards, and it was just players like, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be at home with my family. We've got nothing to play for here. They just thought everybody seemed pissed off, and the fans were having a good time though. But yeah, sorry, I'm Mr. Grinch when it comes to the Christmas Day games.
There's always someday when you get the family together that has to ruin it and not make it any fun for everybody else. And I didn't really think that was going to be the Minnesota Vikings on Christmas night when they beat the Detroit Lions 23-10. That was a surprise, I have to say. Vikings taking a lead in the first quarter with a touchdown, and then tying it up. The Lions did it at the half. It was 7-7, but then the Vikings rallied towards the end to win it 23-10.
Did they rally or did they give them it? Let's be honest.
That's what did you think then, Scott?
Just think Goff just showed his limitations with that stretch where it was like roll at 4 sort of turnovers back to back, 2 interceptions and a couple of fumbles. It was just not pretty. End of the day, the Vikings won, but they only threw for 3 yards or something stupid like that.
51.
That was all you need to know. What? Sorry?
51 yards. Oh, well, sorry, it was 51 yards, but I think it ended up in 3 total yards or something. By the time you add in sacks and stuff like that.
But it's insane. They can win a game like that, but to me, it's how bad Jared Goff was in the Lions rather than how the Minnesota's got a good defense.
Well, well, that's why I think it's been a wee bit unfair there, Scuddy book, man, because I think they've not just got a good defence. I think that's a better than good defence. And Brian Flores must be looking at a head coaching job because what he's doing now is they're keeping them in games. Otherwise, they'd be looking at like a top 5 pick or something like that if you're going with how they're playing offensively when you're he's like Max Brosmer or whatever he's called, coming into the game. I think the defense is scarily good. I think they're a really, really good setup, and I think that was the key to this game. I think Dan Campbell looks a shadow himself when he doesn't have Ben Johnson there to play calls offensively. They look to ideas, and then you're kind of getting up with a first-year rookie offensive coordinator going up against Flo. It was a mismatch. It really was a mismatch, and that's what kind of shown through here for me anyway. So
I'll get a head coaching job after what I played at Miami and how things finished there.
Look, if Josh McDaniels gets a second bite of the cherry, then I'll second bite of the apple. Second bite of the cherry. I don't know. I'm getting back to my beer.
Second bite of the apple. Yeah.
Something more chance. Like cherries and apples in this show.
Absolutely can see it. Getting that, especially the way that they've been playing. Van Ginkel again was tremendous for the Vikings. Love watching that big fella play. And another one for the Vikings with Max Brosner deputising the quarterback as well. Let's see some of the other big games. Broncos tied up the division by beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs rested, I think, half their squad for that game, didn't they? They've just chucked it.
Again, that was a later one, so wasn't it? But I was so surprised to see how close that was and how late on in the game. I think it was within the 2-minute warning or something like that before Denver actually scored the touchdown and actually take the lead and kind of seal the game. Like, you expect Denver to go and score more than 13 points against essentially Kansas backups. And to me, that's a bigger narrative going forward is how much can you trust this team? How many one-score games can you constantly get away with? Okay, it's hard to win in this league. 13 wins is still impressive. But again, it's like, are they legitimate Super Bowl contenders going forward, given who they're beating and the style of what they're beating them at? Because they seem to be struggling week in, week out just to put teams away. They're relying on last-minute field goals or last-second touchdowns or whatever it might be. Defensively, they look incredible. Just don't know about going forward with them. And I thought that was the big surprise for me, kind of waking up in Boxing Day morning, went, I expected a complete and utter annihilation there and a blowout, and it was far from it.
The Texans took on the LA Chargers on Saturday night, but 9:30, I think it started for us here. Ended up winning 20-16. It was a tight game. The impressive thing for me, though, is that the Texans have won their last 8 games, and it's been built on that strong defense. We've talked about it with the Vikings there. We've talked about it with the Broncos. Is this a bit early, or should we really be considering the Houston Texans for possible Super Bowl contenders? What do you think, Scud?
Oh, sorry.
I honestly don't. I think they're coming good at the right time, yes, but I don't see them getting to the big dance. I still think they're struggling a lot. If they play a good defense, will this offense be able to put up on it at this moment in time? You've got a good defense, but people are scoring points on it still. But I just feel Stroud had a really good first year. Last year we came back to earth, and this year's probably a bit of a mixture of it. But I didn't think the way they started they were going to get near even the playoffs, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
this season, so they've done well to come back and they're building on things. But I just still think it's too soon for them to try and make a run to the Super Bowl, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. After their bye week, they were 3-5. They were, and then they've won, as I said, the last 8 games to get them to 11-5. It's a Dada team with momentum behind them. A Dada team that people really should begin to fear. What about the Chargers then, Danny? What have you made of them and how they're doing and what you see? They got to the postseason. Yeah, Chargers are.
Yeah, they're in. I think very likely they could end up coming to Foxborough and miss the wild card weekend. But for me, that they're a very kind of strange team. Like, you can tell Herbert is an elite quarterback against such a banged up offensive line. He's got to be running for his life, particularly against that defensive line. So no surprise to see he was sacked like 5 times. How many times he's getting hit, and obviously leads to why they're resting him this week in week 18. They're a funny team. They're getting kind of good at the right times. Mario Hampton's coming in, but you can't have Herbert running for his life constantly. He's going to get hurt. He's got to make poor decisions. He's got to force the ball. They've got a great wide receiver core there. Lad McConkey and Quentin Johnston and Will Disley and Keenan Allen. They've got good pieces there. They're a team that it's not this season. I don't see it this season. Even if they get through the wild card, they're not going to go any further. Really well coached, good pieces, but just too banged up. They're kind of held together with tape now, but they're doing enough to get into that position. They
seem to rally well in games. They seem to make good changes for the second half and then bring themselves back in. As you say, just doing enough to get there. But I think a few more weapons.
My trouble with both these teams is their run games, and it all comes down to a poor offensive line. If you can't establish the run and your quarterback's got to be under pressure, you're not going to go far in the playoffs. And I think it's the one weakness I really do see in Houston's game now is the run game just isn't good enough. Nick Chubb's not really doing much. Woody Marks is doing okay, but again, I think he averaged like 3 yards or 3.5 yards or whatever it was an attempt. That game, so you're kind of putting a lot of weight on CJ Stroud, who is now starting to come onto a game, but I just don't see him carrying any further. But that defensive line is quite incredible.
That takes us on to the Sunday matchups. As I said, we were out watching the first slate of games together. Some interesting scores. Let's get this out of the way then. Let's talk about your New England Patriots then, boys. Beating up the poor wee little orphan that is the New York Jets. 42-10. Drake May, 256 yards. He's been incredible. Stephon Diggs got 101 yards, receiving yards in the game. Is there much that you can take away from this game? Or is it just a matter that you were beating up on an injured defensive team that is the Jets?
We
not that
stomped
you're
the
going to complain.
guts at them, and I enjoyed every damn second of it. I loved it, right into my veins. No, it was a nothing game, but again, what's impressive is everybody always talks about the New England schedule and this and that. Right, fine, okay, whatever. The greatest show on turf didn't beat a single team over 500. And still went on to be one of the greatest teams of all time that everybody's still talking about 25, 26 years later. It's the manner of the way the Patriots are playing. They're getting out there and they're executing. They're not doing anything stupid. Everybody's getting touched. 5 different touchdown receivers this week. Drake May is just out there playing absolute elite levels. MVP for me. I think that sealed it this week. And you can only go out and play who's in front of you. But if you go out there and smash just about every team you can, then fair play to them. But there's always a special bit of dig in there. Getting into MetLife Stadium and scudding the Jets is high on my kind of wish list, especially at Christmas. So I don't care if it's Brady Cook or if Justin Fields out there or if it's bloody the second coming of bloody, I don't know, Joe Namath for them. But it doesn't matter. As long as you can go and smash them, I'm happy. Sorry, Jets fans.
I was giving the Texans praise there, Scud, for starting off with their was it 3-5 and then won the past 8. Let me see, am I right in saying that you guys have won? Yeah, you guys have won 13 in the trot, have you?
No, we beat up the Bills.
So you did. It's the way this is. It's the way it's shown on Google just now. It's got them side by side as opposed to in a list here. Yeah, right. I can see it. But listen, that's some role you guys are on, and just now. Are you starting to dream again, Scud? Are you starting to get the wee tingles like you used to when it was back in the Brady days?
It's just exciting to watch them again. Let's be perfectly honest. You actually enjoy watching them. Whereas for a couple of years there, it was sitting behind your couch, looking through between your hands, trying to watch them. But yeah, you're starting to believe, you're starting to get there. Well, what we can do this year, I'm hoping we get at least a win in the postseason and take it from there. But I couldn't have dreamed in my wildest dreams we would have ended up with a record the way we're sitting at the moment, to be honest with you, this year. Ahead of schedule, if you ask me, but it just proves how good Vrabel's got the team coached and Derek May's playing. The full team, every phase of the balls, your special teams, your defence and your offence are all playing well, and that's just due to a well-coached team, which we were missing especially last year. We were missing the teams if didn't know what they were doing at some points. Yeah. But this year has been a lot more cohesiveness about the full, every single phase seems good. But no, it's been enjoyable to watch, and I can dream the dream again.
Where would you say you would need to make a wee bit of improvements? If Scud's mentioned this, you're ahead of the curve for where you would like to be. Which aspects of the team do you feel, Danny, you need to make those wee bit improvements just to make sure that you're comfortable going into the postseason next year?
Edge. We need an edge rusher. We don't have enough sacks. We don't get after the quarterback enough. Our defence is good and it makes plays, but there's no match winners in there. There's no. We've got Gonzo, who is elite. There's none of that, but just nobody throws his way, so he's not going to go and make the interception you're wanting. So you're relying on the rest of the team now with Jalen Hawkins make an interception and so you're relying on like Chase on and Hawkins. Harold Landry's been a good pickup, but we missed Robert Spillane this week. We get Milton Williams back. Hopefully this week I think he was eligible to return this week, but Sam, hopefully he'll be back, so he'll be good. We missed Big Tonga, the big nose tackle, but we're just not getting after enough of the quarterback. We get an elite edge rusher in there, and it's making me all moist.
So what I'm hearing is Max Crosby come on down. Is that
that's it. Well, he's pals with Josh McDaniels, you must know him well, so come and stay with him. And safety, I would like another elite player in safety, but an edge rusher, and I think I'm happy with the wide receiver room. When we've got we do have Kyle Williams come through. Ethan Chisholm showed great kind of promise coming through. We're kind of waiting for this game for him, and he's broke out. Hunter Henry's doing really well. Obviously, Diggs, what he said. So I'm kind of happy with the way things are going. Just build up slowly. Get the real thing for this Patriots team has been the team spirit. I think that's run about it. It's not individual players. It's not any of that. 1 week Diggs isn't making 3 catches for 20 yards, but Austin Hooper's going off in the game, or Matt Collins is going off in it. But there seems to be a real camaraderie and a real team spirit about them. But I think, another couple of playmakers in defence, because we've got our playmaker in offence and Drake May. The lad is brilliant. He is. Yeah. He's far better than I think any has really dared to dream. We hoped, but I think I think we're absolutely just in love with the guy. As we say, Drake May.
So again, following with what you were saying there, guys, about the being ahead of the curve, my Seattle Seahawks clinched. I'm not saying clinched because we've still got a game to go this weekend. It's just a weekend, nothing big, but we've laid a marker down. We set that zone. We had on paper, you would think it would be an easy game, but at this stage of the season, with people getting all banged up, getting a wee bit worried about how things could be going. We seen it last night when we talk about the Rams, how easy slip-ups can be. Seahawks travelled to the Carolina Panthers to take them on and dispatched them comfortably in the end, 27-10, but it wasn't that way for the first half. And there was just no way that we were able to get the juices flowing, that get the game really that we wanted to establish. Only 147 passing yards from Sam Darnold in this game. He had another interception. Glad that he kept it to just the one in this game, but it's starting to look a wee bit as if things aren't quite flowing the way that they were a wee bit earlier on in the season. Thankfully, though, Zach Charbonnet stepped up. Kenneth Walker, the third, and Zach Charbonnet, a great 1-2. We don't get enough from each of them throughout the season, and it's I agree. And it was good to see that he stepped up, got his 2 touchdowns from 18 carries, and was really a star performer on the day. I'm looking forward to seeing how we do this weekend against the 49ers. Now, I think this is going to be a massive, massive, massive test for us. We were unfortunate not to get the win at Lumen Field earlier on in the season. I remember the final drive. I think just as he was about to launch it, our own guy fell back into Sam Darnold in that one. And I was absolutely gutted. We really had the chance to get the win there. I'm positive that we can go to Levi Stadium and get it this weekend, though. What have you made of the Seahawks so far then, Scud?
Pleasantly surprised in a way. I wasn't sure how you'd go after getting rid of Metcalf, but Njigba's come up massive this year and he's been absolutely outstanding for you. And you're getting the bet, your running back rooms, and he's 2 quality good running backs who you're able to balance and not overwork one of them. Darnold is Darnold. He always looks good, but when it comes to the postseason, he never always delivers. But I'm hoping that changes for you this year. But he's limited. That's all I'll say. But I'm saying it's been pleasant. I'm pleasantly surprised. Your defense has been solid. Again, that's probably taking you through games as well. When Darnold's maybe had thrown his multiple interceptions in a game, the defence step up and get you back on the field a lot sooner rather than later. So those wee things have been good, and it's been pleased to see. Because obviously when I first started with football, the Seahawks were a decent, solid team. And then they went away for a while, but now they seem to be back and building on that again, which is good to see. Because they're a decent franchise. And I like their luminous green jersey. So
good man. Danny, the game at the weekend then against the 49ers. We'll come to the 49ers and just briefly touch on their game against the Chicago Bears at the weekend there. I think both teams forgot their defense for that one and they just decided to absolutely let rip. And that Brock Purdy, since he came back from injury, I've seen his player rating's been ridiculous. He's I think he's the most efficient quarterback by far when it comes to 3rd and 4th downs in the league. He's way beyond everybody else. It's hard enough living with a 49ers fan being a Seahawks fan, but when the team's just starting to cook the way that they are, the way that they don't have any star players in defense, but Robert Saleh's got that defense cooking the way that they have. This is going to be a wee worrying matchup for me in the early hours of Sunday morning when me and Junior will be up watching it.
I think rightly so. I think your wee bum should be twitching quite a bit with this one. I would say Seahawks are ahead of the curve probably where everyone thought. I think everyone thought they were going to be a really good team, young team, great defensively. They're set up well. So even been in first position getting into week 18, I'd say you're doing great, and you're still going to be a handful getting into the playoffs. And definitely get a win in there. Well, I guess it depends how the pieces fall in that one. But yeah. I think San Francisco are just scary. It's just Shanahan at his absolute finest, and he's just an unbelievable coach. With Salah in there as well. A team that's had to rely on bloody Mac Jones to win them to get through, but they're still sitting there with 13 wins or 12 wins forget where they're at right now, 12-4. You just think, like, they've done it again, and they're just getting hot at the right time. McCaffrey is getting off in one. Purdy is just playing like a man possessed. Like, he's just, some of the plays he was making at the weekend against the Bears, and again, this is a bloody great Bears team, who again, probably another one we're talking about, who's ahead of the curve. But he's just out there making ridiculous plays, throws. He's out there like prime bloody, I don't know, Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or something like that. He's scampering about, and it's I don't know. Is it? Are we? I don't want to say it, but I'm almost edging towards, is this the team we're looking at in the Super Bowl? Are they doing it again, but then they'll ultimately fail again in the prime Shanahan way? Because that's how strongly I feel about them.
Yeah, no, they feel like they have probably the most well-rounded team out of everybody that's going into the postseason just now. Defense is strong. Offensively, that they've got players coming back. Pearsall's just coming back again from injury. Whether they can keep him fit for the full of the postseason will be a big one for them. They've got Joanne Jennings. You've got Kittle as well. Just so many offensive weapons. But the thing is, a lot of them have been there already. They've seen what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. They were humbled when they got there, but this is their chance to get back and get a bit of retribution. And I think they might actually be enjoying being just outside of the number one spot just now, kind of going under a few people's radars. But when you look at the stats that the McCaffrey's putting up every week and that Purdy is putting up, you mentioned Purdy. I just want to say that it feels as if he's grown into himself this season, where everybody knew, and that we all talk about it, and it's not something we tend to dwell on. This podcast is about him being Mr. Irrelevant. He's proven time and time again that he's far from that, but it feels as if he's just starting to get that wee bit of aura. It's a contract season for him this year.
No, I think it feels as if did they just game some stupid?
I thought he was in the last off.
That would explain the O-line getting all their Toyotas off them then for their Christmas. But it feels as if he's got that gallousness about him, and we're seeing that in the games. The one where he evaded to the Bears players and then get the pass away for the touchdown. He didn't go to celebrate with his teammates. He went over to the sideline himself just to flex, and kind of, well, as much as I can, I kind of liked it, appreciated it. I could understand, but again, it's I'm starting to get a wee bit of the fear for the game this Sunday.
I think my worry is just can he keep it up, because we've just seen the duality of Brock Purdy. You know, we've seen the two sides of him. He can be utterly honking, and really, you know, when you are looking at him going, is Mac Jones a better bloody quarterback at this point in time? Or he goes out and plays like that and he's absolutely lights out. And so it's just, if he can keep it up and he can keep this sort of momentum, this heater going that he's on, then they're going to be a team to be feared.
Yeah. And wonder if fitness was a factor in that for looking like making Mac look good. But he certainly shook that off as well. Last night, Scud, I think it was fair to say there was a bit of a shock in Atlanta. Down at the Superdome there. The Atlanta Falcons humbled the LA Rams 27-21, 21 points up at halftime were the Atlanta Falcons. It's not like them to throw away such a large lead when it came to the second half. They must have been making a few buttons down there. What did you make of the comeback from the Rams, but also the surge from the Falcons to get there in the first place?
I thought the Falcons started really, really well. They were dominating the first half. I watched, it was mostly the highlights, tried to watch some of the game in 40, but the game itself I was surprised how poor the Rams played, to be honest with you. I think the Falcons have got a good team. They just need, in my opinion, still need a good quarterback. They've got a lot of weapons in that team. They just need consistency at the quarterback position. I don't think you're really getting that from Cousins in that, but I do think they've got the thing way to do that. Even Pittsburgh one of his quieter games, but then you had London, then you BJ Robinson was absolutely outstanding this game. And he gets tired, you bring on here. It's a bit not fair, but no, they were really, really good. And I think it flatters them that they even got as close as they did to the end of it, because I think Atlanta deserved to blow them out of the water.
Have you seen much of it at all today, Danny?
Just highlights, bits and pieces. It was a game I completely forgot was on until I was up at 5 a.m. and went, oh shit, what the hell happened there? So kind of watched a bit of it this morning, and to be honest, again, I think anyone who's watched Atlanta realised actually they've got a really good defence. Like, I've seen teams go there and struggle big time, whether it's been the Rams or the Patriots struggled a bit against them. Josh Allen struggled against them. It's just offensively, if you can kind of shut down Bijan Robinson, then you're in with a shout. They're pretty much a one-man band. They're getting carried away, but that defence is no joke, and it might just be enough to keep Todd Bowles in a job for another year, just the way they've sort of finished the season. The Rams,
Todd Bowles.
Buccaneers. Todd Bowles Bucks. What would that say? Did I say Todd Bowles?
Aye.
Yeah, oh shit, man, he's on my hole. Sorry. Jesus, the defensive lad who played.
Yeah, right, he came for the 49ers. Yep.
Yeah, I've my total brain fart. I guess I should have another drink of this and we'll help out. Oh God.
Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris. The man, see? You would get there in the end. No, but the Rams, you kind of start wondering, like, okay, 3 interceptions. Again, I'm putting the credit of that on Atlanta. No, try to detract away from what they're doing. But when you look at Puka-Nakua's numbers, Devontae Adams wasn't free here. They kind of just fell down a bit. Kyrie Williams put in, a hell of a shift in this game. But for a lot of people, this is the team to beat. This is the most complete, best team in the NFL. And you can see why, when they do have like a red zone machine like Devontae Adams, and they've got Stafford playing at MVP level, and you've got Puka-Nakua doing his things. And then that defense set him up as well, Jared Verse and everything out there, just wrecking everything up. You can think, okay, they're a complete team. But that's a couple of games in a row now that they've kind of chucked away. There's been a couple of surprise defeats in there over the last sort of month. So it's kind of shown that they are not... It's the great thing about this season. You're all like, okay, that's an elite team, that's an elite team. Nobody's beating them. I think MD can beat MD going forward in this one. And I think at the same time that the 49ers are on the way up, it seems like we're hitting a wee bit of a bumpy road for the Rams in December.
Rams haven't won since Puka-Nakua went on that YouTuber, that social media dude's that show. Just saying, could be that.
That'll be the same as OBJ in a boat sort of thing, is it?
Could well be right. That was the main ones. The main games from the weekend just passed there in week 17. How does that affect then the look ahead to we're not even going to touch on New York Giants and Las Vegas Raiders. That was ringing. Miami Dolphins. And
other than the tank. The tank was on with that one, wasn't it?
Aye, absolutely.
Is that the most blatant tank job you've ever seen? Probably.
Since I started following the football, it certainly is. Remiss of me if we did not pick out the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to upstate New York for the Buffalo Bills. Did you catch the end of this game? I thought I managed to see the end of it. I didn't see all of the game. What a final drive. The Bills had been honking all game, but to get within a fingertips chance away of getting the win by going for the two in the final seconds of that game was unreal. What drama that was. It was absolutely incredible. Josh Allen, don't know how to do it. He managed to get 262 yards, but it didn't feel like that at all as you're watching the game. They just weren't connecting. They weren't getting anything going. He had hurt his ankle last week. He went over it again at the start of the game as well. still managed to get 2 touchdowns as well, the big game. Superb. Great drama. The Eagles, they just rumble on. They're going to be dangerous in the postseason, as always. Right, let's have a wee look then at the games that we've got for week 18. Starting on Saturday at 9:30, we've got the Panthers at the Buccaneers. Nothing game really. There's not.
No, this is the game. This is one that everybody should be watching. This is a winning. This is winning in. This is
one.
This has got to determine who wins the NFC South. The Panthers obviously have come out with absolutely nowhere after looking shaky. Bryce Young's coming on to a game. He was making some fucking decent plays recent weeks. Tampa Bay, who knows what to make of that team? All over the place, but yeah, essentially winning in with this one.
Yeah.
All they had to do is take care of business. Either of them, I think, this week, and I think both lost. Obviously, they lost to your Seahawks, and Tampa Bay lost to
Miami.
Miami, yes. That's right. They get a smashing. Yeah. So it's like neither team wants to really try and win this one. Wants to grab it by the scruff of the neck. But I think this again is going to be a fascinating one to watch because on paper you look at both teams and you're going like Tampa Bay should be winning this, but they're playing like dog meat, absolute roasters out there. Whereas you're actually seeing a bit of growth, I think, for Dave Canales' team in Carolina, and they're starting to actually put some stuff together. That's where I think they've got the momentum in this one, and I think if I did put my 50 pence each way on whatever it is, I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Yeah, I think you might be right there with that one. The Bucks just look as if they've run out of steam. It's just been the last couple of weeks they've just been coasting through to get to the end of the season, hoping to get in rather than really forcing their way through.
I just don't know how much Baker's healthy. That's the trouble.
He's not,
but he's still doing all he can to get through,
and all he can to throw it away as well, quite literally at times.
Okay, then.
Sorry, you go.
No, go for it, Scott.
I just think I thought Evans come back, that would have helped made them a wee bit more consistent in the offense, but it's not proved the point. Not proved like it.
Absolutely. Next up, then, as I said earlier, hours off Sunday morning for us. Saturday morning into Sunday morning, we've got the Seattle Seahawks travelling to Santa Clara to take on the San Francisco 49ers. This is massive. Absolutely massive. My sleep schedule has went to pot since being off work. It's going to absolutely ruin the week ahead after that as well, because I cannot wait for this, and I'm definitely going to be. I'll probably try and get a wee sleep before it, but I'll be definitely getting up to watch this. Probably so will the wee man as well. Don't know how much we'll be talking to each other come the end of the game, about 3-4 o'clock in the morning, right enough. But that's just going to be some game there. And you're talking about the script writers to get to this stage of the season. The NFC West, I don't think many were thinking it was going to be as much a battle as it's been. Even at the start of the season, the Cards were playing well. They were doing some decent stuff. But for all 4 teams that have been doing so well, Cards fell away, of course. This is going to be something special. If the Seahawks can go there, get a wee bit of retribution for the loss earlier in the season, and win that first spot in the bye, then I'm going to start dreaming. I'm going to start dreaming.
Sorry, I was
just when you two burst my bubble here, isn't it?
A wee bit, to be honest. I just think the momentum is with 49ers in this one. But I was just trying to find the spread and where it is. It's only 1.5 points. Oh, the Seahawks are favoured by 1.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're 55% to clinch it, to win it. It's I'm not going to be too downhearted if we're a wee bit behind. As long as we're maybe within a score at half time, because I love what McDonald does at half time and how he makes those tweaks and those changes we seem to be a better team, a different team in second half of games. And Darnold's shown that he can be clutch whenever it comes to the final quarter as well, the final drives. I just feel that we've got a wee bit of momentum to get us through there. That's how I am, that wee bit confident in it. I don't do this with my football team at all. I always try to downplay it. But for my American football, I think I'm taking on the persona of the Americans, that they're number one at everything. I'm getting a wee bit overly confident for the Seahawks. I'm feeling uncomfortable with myself doing this. It's not a nice feeling to be feeling, but I hope to God we can do something on Sunday morning. It's got to be terrific. It's got to be the game of the weekend.
It's the quarterbacks for me. That's what I'm sort of looking at. It's what one's going to have the best game between them. Is it the Darnold seeing ghosts? Is it the Brock Purdy / Mac Jones show up, or are they going to play to their full potential? And I think whatever quarterback shows up and plays the best, because obviously there is question marks over Darnold's, what it was, clutch gene or whatever you want to kind of call it. Obviously these last couple of games in Minnesota last season just ebbed away a bit, and is he still got it in him? Could go grab this game by the scruff of the neck, go show actually no, he is QB1, he is a future MVP, he can be a future Super Bowl champion, or is he always going to be Mr. Regular Season and then collapse into the playoffs or when the tough gets going?
Okay, looking at the other games in the schedule, then you've got the Saints travelling to the Falcons. You've got the Browns taking on the Bengals. Nothing in that one there at all. Packers taking on the Vikings again. I think they played each other just recently, a couple of weeks ago. Cowboys against the Giants. The Titans against the Jags. Colts travelling to Houston, take on the Texans. Jets staying in the state to take on the Buffalo Bills. Lions, Chicago Bears. That one's going to be tasty. That one's going to be...
Depends who the Lions play. The Lions have nothing to play for now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the sort of key thing, because there's you get through this year and it's just like, a lot of nothing to play for, a lot of tankathon, people resting. As I say, we already know that Herbert's getting rested for week 18. Yep. I would be surprised if the Patriots don't follow suit and just, just put in, maybe play Drake for a quarter, bring in the Pasternaut after that, and then just kind of let it run, because if you already know that Denver are going to take care of business, what have you really got to play for? Let's keep everybody healthy, kind of get in. And I can see that, and that obviously just leads up to obviously the big game on Monday night here, or Sunday night football, I guess it is.
Yep.
Which is the other one we need to see how that plays out, isn't it? With the the Ravens at the Steelers, like we were talking about earlier on.
Yeah, 1:20 in the morning, Monday morning, for us here.
I think it's I've never seen such three big games in week 18 for as long as I can remember. There's so much on the line in the last week. It's good to see. Yeah,
and it's for the number one space in the division. Usually that's tied up from. I've been watching it for the past 5-6 years. That those positions seem to have been pretty much done. It's been the wild card that you've been worrying about.
There's a team, right, we've not really touched on at all, and they baffle me, but the Jags. Just before time's ranking them, so I don't want to... I think they need a wee bit of a shout out there, because 12 wins, they're fairly coming on. Cohen's really get Trevor Lawrence playing well there, but they're a team that I still struggle to kind of take seriously. Like they still seem to be struggling. They're kind of there. They're one of the most penalised teams in the league, which is usually a sign of a bad team. You can look at sacks and you can look at penalties and turnover differentials and things like that, and you can generally see like all the worst teams in the league kind of are stuck in that category, and they're one of the worst. Whereas you're kind of looking at them going, they still have a way to actually claim the number one seed in the AFC. If both Pats lose and Denver had to lose, Jags would take the number one seed. And it's like, okay, again, is this a team to be feared, or is this a team that can cause an upset, or are they a genuine contender, or are they just, in a crap AFC South? We're just kind of rough. Nessie agrees.
Okay.
So just seeing that game coming up, I thought I'd just give them a wee shout because I think they're definitely worth a mention. They've got a team that's to watch in the playoffs.
Absolutely. We will be back next week to have a wee look at the results, see how everything pans out and what will be happening when it comes to the first week of the playoffs and who's getting that bye. I might not be on depending on the result on Sunday morning, right enough, but we'll be back certainly to talk it through. Scud, thanks very much for joining us tonight, bud.
Eventually. No, cheers, bud.
It's actually early for the 2 years to be on, right enough. Danny, terrific as always, bud. Thank you.
My pleasure. Slanger, mate.
That was great. Before we go, I just want to show you this wee comment that we got on YouTube from Boot the Heel 1548. Here because Keith approached me in Sainsbury's as I was doing my weekly big shop. Respect to the grind. You'd be surprised how many people that could be. I've run out of cards in my wallet that I've seen people wearing NFL gear. So if you're one of the people,
trolley, were you judging him what he had in his trolley and then untoward in there? A couple of steak pies for New Year.
It's hard. But no, this has been for a while ago because I was in Sainsbury's just there and I saw a Bears bonnet and a Jets one, but I didn't have any cards on me. Usually, Keir's like my wee running back. I just hand it off to him and he just McCaffrey's through the crowds to get to people and go, this is my dad's podcast. So yes, hopefully you guys have given out your cards as well whenever you see any NFL gear. If you do, thanks very much for taking the time to check us out. Really do appreciate it. We will be back again soon with more talk on all things NFL and hopefully get some Scott Ball podcasts up as well. There's been lots going on in the world of Scottish amateur American football. So yes, we'll be back soon with that as well. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Loved being back on with you guys. Thanks very much. And if we don't see you, we'll probably see you in the new year. So thanks very much for listening, getting in touch, and we will speak to you again soon. Cheerio.